So before we start opening the box, let's go through the non-anime stuff I got. As you can see, I stopped by Best Buy and was like, whatever. That short film collection thing with a bunch of stuff. I think some of these I've seen before. Napoleon Dynamite. Friend was curious, I guess. U.S. Marshals and The Fugitive. Two classics that I'm not sure if I've actually seen either of them. I've seen both of these. It's been a long time. It would probably be good to rewatch Gladiator just because maybe I will feel it's good. I've never watched Taken. My friends never watched Taken. Might as well, because this is the movie that made a I Will Find You, I Will Kill You, famous, associated with Liam Neeson. So I got Taken 2 and 3 as well. I picked up the Species collection. I think you all know why. We've got Avengers, Age of Ultron, which, as you can see, still in plastic. I've not been doing stuff. And then Seasons 1 and 2 of Star Trek The Original Series. Season 3 is on its way. Before we actually open the box, we also should cover Hentai. 2 releases that are actual Hentai releases. Even though this one says Adult Source Media, this isn't one of their compilation series, I think. Some naughty bits on the front there. And then we got yeah, this was a submission of my sister and Double Duty Nurses. I'd actually never looked too closely at that. That's an interesting view. Somebody had fun designing that. Alright, now I actually don't have enough room on the table for this box, so we're just going to continue today's complicated update by just opening it and I don't know, somehow getting all this stuff out on the table. And that's not all the anime, since a ton of stuff also arrived. This is a big update today, so I'll put these aside. We'll begin by going through this pile. First, The World is Still Beautiful. I bet there's a Blu-ray in here as well. Let's see, Blu-ray is region A only, Japanese audio only. So, I'm getting used to these Sentai tabs being closed, because they just are. Oh, and as for why this is a day late, obviously shipping was delayed a day. I mean, with all the stuff that was already here, I probably could have done it, but I don't know, a lot of these releases are kind of this week's release. It's a big release week, so I figured I'd wait, and I was actually feeling a bit ill, so it gave me a chance to kind of get over that. Now we've got today, where wasn't that the same image as the one disc in here? Yep. So disc 2 is completely new. I'm not quite sure what this is about. It's definitely curious looking. Next up, we got Naruto the movie The Last, or The Last Naruto the movie. Limited edition booklet inside, Blu-ray DVD combo. And this is the one I can't watch until close to the end of the series, right? Hey look, this is a Viz release and not a Sentai release, because the tab is actually not closed. Or locked is probably a better term for it. Oh, that's a different image. Let's set that aside for now and take a look at imagery. Oh, yeah. And obviously one of these is DVD. The other one is Blu-ray. That says region A down there in case. But I don't think Viz DVDs are known for I don't think Viz DVDs are known for being multi-region. Funimation Sentai occasionally are. Although I'm trying to think if any Sentai ones have been recently, because nothing comes to mind. Well, this one is a Blu-ray and DVD of when Marnie was there. It says Marnie. It sounds strange to me, so it should be interesting to see what it's like when it's actually said. And I say that even if it's in Japanese. You've got blue text in the way there. But let's see. Hecho in Mexico. Yeah, okay, that's saying English language there. Okay. I'm trying to read it through the camera, because if I can read it through the camera on this small camera, then y'all should be able to read it on YouTube, in theory. DVD, Blu-ray. It's a nice, straightforward release, and a very interesting looking curiosity. Huh, it says Studio Ghibli film. Was this actually made by them? Why isn't Disney distributing their stuff? Not that I'm complaining per se. Let's see. Tamayura? Is there a Blu-ray somewhere in here? I'm not seeing one, which may have been the case when I purchased this. I don't know. Oh. This isn't a Sentai release. For some reason I thought it was. Yeah, okay, I wouldn't expect a Blu-ray release with this, because now I think about it, I don't think Right Stuff does that many of them. So I wouldn't expect it to be dubbed, Japanese language, English subtitles, screen text. So that's okay. That's to be expected. For some reason I thought this was a Sentai release. Ugh. And look, it's got the thing up there. And if only time could stop for like a month or something, so I could have a chance to catch up and watch all these anime. I mean, this may be good, this may be mediocre, this may be bad, I don't know. But, I don't know. It's got an appealing character design. Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal Season 2, which I'm pretty sure I didn't have. But I'll be honest, I didn't check. I figured, buy now, verify later. Worst case, I have a second one that I don't know, put in storage forever or something. Best case, though, I don't already have it, and now I do have it, and whatever. That's being annoying to rotate disc. Let's see, Season 2, Volume 5. Oh, I guess it's Volume 5 overall. I'm just trying to think, because Season 2, Volume 5 would make me think that this would be the second half of Season 2 or something. Oh well. Well, the good news is Yu-Gi-Oh! Continues to come out. Which means I get to continue keeping up with collecting it. Oh no, who's that mysterious figure? Next up, we've got Brynhildr in the Darkness. I'm not sure if that's the proper way to pronounce it. Whoa. This one's a Sentai release, because you can tell it's tabbed open. Come Come on, thumbnail. Get into that plastic. Wow, that, okay. So I was just talking about how maybe I've gotten easier on these, but maybe not. I think we're going with scissors. Because I can't hold this open, do that at the same time, so let's just create a rupture in the plastic like so. Start peeling it off. Okay, good. So we've got 2 discs there. Oh, did I check the back for region A? Oh, it's dubbed. I mean, sometimes their choice on what to dub and what not to dub seems odd, but it's dubbed. These days it's only slightly less rare than being in region B. So how did they do this artwork? It looks like this one is a combination of these 2 characters' art pieces. The second volume. Okay, so they have that with her on the first. Yeah, okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters. So they did some mixing up of the artwork to keep things interesting between the DVD and the Blu-ray versions. It's actually pretty uncommon. Blu-ray release of Sasami-san at Ganbaranai. I feel like I can't pronounce things right. Region A, Japanese with subtitles, which is expected. This is just a Blu-ray release of their previous DVD release. If I just can't get in there, then come to the rescue scissors. You just need to rupture the plastic enough to start peeling away. I dig out the old DVD version to compare, but I'm afraid of where it's located, and I didn't think about that in advance, so sorry about that. Then we got Fairy Tail, Part 17. And now I'm so far behind on even what I do have that if I ever feel like just sitting down and watching a lot of something, this would be a good option. It'd actually be a pretty decent option. I mean, I don't get the impression that it's the that people would consider it better than One Piece in general. I'm sure some people do. Oh, region A only, English dub. I'm not sure why Funimation would stop dubbing. They love dubbing things. I think those are DVDs because they say DVD right there off the camera where you can't see it, and they say Blu-ray. Blu-ray. It's an interesting imagery of him. And like I said, that's not last but not least, because we've also got this pile of stuff, on the top of which you can see DuRaRaRa X2, which is the second season of DuRaRaRa. We got our DVD and our Blu-ray versions. Apparently I also got Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 2. I thought this pile was a little more sorted than it actually was. We got a receipt. We got a Hayate the Combat Butler ad. let's see. Where is that? There it is. It's on the front here, on the bottom. Looks like a solid enough case that I can toss that. Also on the front. Alright, how to look at these. Let's begin with the DVD version, I guess. Discs are pretty straightforward. We've got a little booklet. It's pretty standard Aniplex extras. Postcards. But I'm not going to look through them. The standard proof of purchase, other thing. And then the Blu-ray version is probably pretty similar. Oh, except no, the discs actually look pretty similar, except they have Blu-ray instead of DVD there. We've got, it looks like the same little booklet, same postcards. These are mostly the same, except of course this is the Blu-ray volume 1. And I know that I'm putting these back in backwards, but whatever. Next up we've got Little Witch Academia The Enchanted Parade, which is part of the Kickstarter release. The Little Witch Academia Enchanted Parade Kickstarter thing came with a couple of extras, and here's most of them. For starters, why don't we go biggest to smallest? This is a Ouija board. Yes, no, A, B, C, D, F, G, H, L, M, N, Q, R, C, and Z. Hello, 1 through 90. Goodbye. Sun, moon. Very simple. It's kind of the same material that you see mouse pads used for, so I think it's also good to be a gaming mat, maybe. Next up, the next biggest thing, let's actually do this, because this is actually kind of big. I haven't flattened it out yet. This is the same artwork from Little Witch Academia. First one, the one that they put on the booklet that came with the Blu-ray, which is cool. This is one of the prettiest pieces of artwork to come out of it. It's nice to have that in a poster form. I just have to figure out what I'm going to do with it. I got one keyframe. I would comment on it, but if you haven't seen it yet, then you probably don't want to know what it is exactly. I'm not even sure if it shows up too well on here. It's hard to tell on this little screen. We got a booklet. Ooh, it's lots of neat little things in it. This is a thank you backers of Little Witch Academia by Trigger. And then this is some neat metallic witch thing. You can kind of see that it's designed to be tied onto something. It's not really hung. So I'm not exactly sure what it is because I don't remember the nature of all the rewards. And unless I've misplaced anything else, the final and probably my second favorite behind the Blu-ray itself item from the Kickstarter is this shirt, which would be my second anime Kickstarter shirt. No, actually I guess it's my third, but it's my favorite because it has an actual anime character on it, which actually I guess that's a big part of it because, you know, now people look at it and they know it's anime, but the real neat thing is actually this list of Kickstarter backers on the back. My name is back there. I point out where, but whatever. I've been what the name. This comes with the soundtrack, Blu-ray of the movie. We have Hans Christian Andersen's The Little Mermaid, the anime version of the original, the Little Mermaid story that the Little Mermaid from Disney was based off of. So I'm wondering if this one has the same sort of ending. It's definitely got an interesting older look to it. I'm curious to see this one as well, but I was just telling you and complaining about world stopping so I can catch up on all the things. Probably not much to the disc on the inside. It's a little arty. CB character Go Nagai World. Oh, Chibi SD Super Deform. A World of Violence, Eroticism, and Chibis. So I'm guessing this is a bunch of chibi versions of Go Nagai characters and mechas, based on the mechas here and the characters. Just toss that. I got sticky. Straightforward. I guess I didn't check if these are dubbed. I'm assuming not. Oh, audio English. This one has dub and Japanese with sub. This one I would expect to be dub or sub only. And then we got a Super Dimensional Century Orguss. Obviously, I already have the older Imagination release, but just like Cat's Eye, since those Imagination releases, this pile's so damn big. I'm gonna move this to the side. Divide this in half because I've reached my breaking point. So obviously, since the old Imagination releases were DVD recordables, I'm not sure if they will last as long. This one says English and Japanese. I'm guessing the English dub for the episodes 1 through 17. I think that's maybe the same for the Imagination release, or was that one only for a couple of DVDs, like the first 4 episodes or something like that? Which ultimately means it's probably best to watch this Japanese with English subtitle, just because that's a more consistent watching experience throughout the whole thing. But, well, pretty straightforward discs, but you know, this will be nice for all of you who are maybe interested in getting the series, missed the Imagination releases back when they were affordable, now you can't find them or something like that. Straightforward, pretty neat. And last but not least, we have a Etotama. Damn it! I can't read it when it's not. It does says Etotama. Okay. I guess I don't know what it's about, but she does appear to be something like a cat. Tama, I think, being more of a cat's name. Oh look, it says a Blu-ray DVD there, and I think I found the entrance to the plastic. Alright, obviously as a Pony Canyon release, we just have to slide it out of that. All these other DVDs kind of make it hard to see it all at once, but let's take a quick look at the back at what we're dealing with. We've got DVD, English, Japanese language. Subtitles English and Spanish. So I guess that means they dubbed it, the 4 episodes that are on here. I was just wondering if it kind of reminds me of, the character design kind of reminds me of Elfenlied. Like maybe the same character designer or something like that. Or, I mean, like, this doesn't look very Elfenlied. She's got rabbit ears. There's a tail there. I don't know, it's really hard to see. Did I thumb through it? I did thumb through it. It's just we can't see anything with it so close to the camera. Sorry about that. Oh, there's a bigger version of the picture back here. I wonder, we can't lift that. Okay, I was looking. Those ears. Are those more Tanuki? Okay, so these are very animal girls. Not to be confused with monster girls. It'd be interesting to see that anime when it comes out. No, I guess that looks more tigerish. These postcards, obviously I'm going to because they're not in plastic and they're much bigger and easier to see and show, and of course put back right here. And over here we've got the discs. Down here, this is Blu-ray. I see the Blu-ray icon. And this one, it's going to be the DVD because that's a DVD icon there. And this is usually a soundtrack of some sort. But I'm having trouble seeing where it says what kind it is. It does say compact disc there, so maybe it's just a simple, I don't know. I'd rather not make speculations because it's a lot of these do seem to be oh, there's no paper thing on the back. Oh gosh. Look at all those DVDs. Let's restore the pile to its original. You see, this is why we did not keep the pile, because I need to go over this side like this. This is this week's anime DVD collection update. So my anime watching has sped up a little bit. I finished watching Tokyo Ghoul. Obviously I started last week. It was interesting and curious. I wasn't quite sure what to think of it while I was watching. It was definitely interesting and entertaining, and still I started coming up with a hypothesis where it was really leading with the stuff it was doing. And I think if it had ended the way it did with just this one season, it probably would have been not enough. Like, it was good. It was leading somewhere, and when it got there, when I realized it was leading somewhere and it got there, it's like, I need to see what happens after that, because the lead up to that wasn't as fulfilling as I thought. But there is a second season, as I understand it, so I'm very interested to see what happens there. Next up, I selected Selector Infected Wheatcross. Last week I wasn't quite sure how to pronounce it, unless it was the week before that. But that's the way they were pronouncing it in the show, at least in the English dub, so I'm going with that for now. I guess the reason I chose it is because there was potential as kind of a polar opposite of Tokyo Ghoul, but maybe still interesting, considering Funimation picked it up, maybe. Funimation picked it up and it didn't look fan servicey. So I was kind of curious what it was, what it led up to, and there's a part of me wondering how much to really describe it. It kind of felt like a cross between Angelic Layer and Madoka, but I'm not sure if that's a really good way to describe it, simply because the elements it takes for Madoka are ones where if you watch this you might get spoiled by that description. Not in a bad way, but in a less ideal approach to the series way. But if you haven't watched Madoka for the right reason now, then watching it for the less right but still watchable reason may be okay. For this series itself, I feel like making that comparison, if you're already familiar with those series, isn't too bad, simply because it kind of plays itself off as being that kind of show, both those kinds of elements mixed together from the very get-go. What exactly that entails is kind of hard to describe. Some of it was things I was expecting, some of it was I knew something was off, but I don't know. It's hard to say what exactly I thought about it because it didn't end at another ending place. It's sort of like Tokyo Ghoul in that it definitely leaves you feeling hungry for a little more. This isn't like the end of... I guess I'm going to compare to Madoka because... I'm not going to compare to that. I can't think of a good way to compare it without saying more than I really want to. So, what's a really good example? Because there are definitely anime which leave you asking questions and feeling open-ended, but in a good way. Where you're like, okay, I can accept that I don't need anything more to that. And that's, I'm trying to say that's not how this one ended, because you have satisfaction in where it ended up. You feel like there was a story told. I guess Hack Sign is an example of one that I think of where it doesn't tell you the whole story of the entire world, but rather the part of it in which Tsukasa is relevant. And for me, Hack Sign is very satisfying, partially because the music is really awesome, and partially because it completes a story arc for that character, even if things don't end la-di-da, completely happy, every question answered. This one is definitely a first season sort of thing, and there's a second season I saw, and hopefully that's going to be coming out before I forget whatever contents are here. But it's hard to say for certain what I thought about certain elements of this, because there are a couple little things where it really depends on why the series argues for this stuff, for having some of it have been the way it has. That makes me needing to see the second season to know for certain how I feel about these things. There are a lot of neat twists and turns to it, fun moments, interesting moments, curious moments. So it's, I'd say, closer to the good side, definitely. But whether or not it gets better or worse than that depends on the second season. Finally, last night I decided to start rewatching my teen romantic comedy Snafu. The Blu-ray has been hanging around here for a while because I was pretty sure I wanted to watch it, because Hachiman is so cynical, but it feels like there's something satisfying about what he's saying, and I wanted to rewatch it, kind of measure how I think, how I feel about it, and I guess I kind of respect him a bit. I don't really like her, because while she's jaded and cynical, she's mean as well. I mean, we're not talking about just like holding stuff back. It's like she goes out of her way to say, "Oh, you're creepy," and actually she misuses it too. These characters misuse it in a way that's just stupid, where it's like the only way you can call it creepy is, oh, he didn't follow the social norms that I'm used to. And we're not even talking about like physical spaces or whatnot, but rather what is appropriate topics to talk about. And one of those is self-deprecating humor. I don't understand how simple self-deprecating humor could be creepy to somebody unless they're a brainless turd. Or somebody actually inappropriately uses that sort of humor to tell a joke that's... because there's definitely things where it's like, okay, you probably shouldn't be talking about poop and pee and puke and stuff when people are eating, because they don't want to think about poop and pee and puke while they're tasting delicious food, because There's some part of our mind that wants to puke because other people are puking, because we might be eating the same thing they are, and there's probably something about it that we haven't detected yet that might be bad. Oh my god. And we don't want to drink pee, and we don't want to eat poop, and, you know, it's like, okay, there's some things which makes logical sense. You don't talk about those during meals. Or something like that. And yeah, she's definitely, my problem with her, she's a feeler. So I guess all I can really like character-wise, Hachiman I kind of respect because he very rarely goes mean as opposed to brutally honest. And I like the brutal honesty. And then there's the white-haired boy, I don't forget, or I don't remember. He's pretty damn cool. I mean, I kind of remember Popular Girl was a cunt. Popular Boy really towed the line. Like, he could be a great guy, except he just lets stupid things happen. He's almost a cool character. I don't know. It's. I think part of watching this that makes it really easy to be so critical of the characters is because the main character is so critical about characters. But you know, I think that's kind of what makes it satisfying to rewatch it. Some of the things he says are stupid. It's like this entire idea about being part of a group versus a loner. You know, there is something to be said about being self-sufficient, but there's also something to be said about the success of groups. We're a really good example. This hand is made out of millions of tiny organisms that have learned to live together, to work together. They don't understand that they're doing that, but because they did that, because some of them are like, oh, we're going to have to be smart about them. I'm me because of their groups. Groups are powerful. It helps them survive. And humans have a similar kind of advantage to them. But it can also be painful, and so it's understandable to be kind of reluctant about it. But you know, it's one of those things where you just kind of have to accept the fact that not everything can be fun. Like, let's ignore the fact that driving is shitty because people are being shitty. Let's go maybe somewhere to where we want to hunt for food. We need... maybe the family hasn't had any meat in a while. We're living in a forest or something like that. You go hunting, and there's definitely an advantage to hunting in groups. You could take down bigger prey or something like that and actually feed people the nutrition they need to not die of malnutrition. And we're not talking about this as if eating meat is right or wrong. We're talking about this from it is the only option because this is like people living way out there where working as a group actually works to help them achieve the goal. And I'm almost getting lost saying what I'm saying. My point is, the process itself, you know, you could stub your toe in the middle of doing it, you could maybe even break an ankle, but, you know, as painful of a process as it may be, the creature might even kill you because you can't find any easy game. It's just going to be, instead of hunting the deer have all wandered off or something, you just got the bear. But maybe your group is hunting the bear anyways because sometimes life is about overcoming these uncomfortable things, these uncomfortable realities. And I think working in groups with people is important for that reason as well. It's because, let's face it, even if I want to say I'm a loner, the truth of the matter is, that doesn't mean that I'm not a part of the collective of humanity. When I drive to work, I still have to deal with the fact that I'm a person on the road there. Other people are wanting to go along. They're going to want me to go forward when the traffic goes forward, maybe come to a safe stop. The person in front of me definitely wants me to come to a safe stop so that I don't hit them. People need to turn in. They need to be given opportunities to turn in, or else you're going to say, no, you're not allowed to reach your destination. What kind of bullshit is that? You know, and that's just driving. If I go grocery shopping, then how many people were involved in helping me get all the things I grocery shop? And that's even if I just buy simple produce to cook my own food. It's something I don't do anymore. You know, there's a lot of people involved in all this stuff. Even if I fancy myself an individual, I could maybe even try and reduce some of that stuff. I can't even think about living out in the wilderness. I'm not prepared for that physically. But even if I reduce the amount of interaction with people I do, I'd still be probably depending on running water. If something happens to me and I do need to go to the hospital, I'd be depending on the infrastructure we built to get me there and stuff. And I guess this has turned into a bit of a rant. So Hachiman isn't a completely right person all the time. I think, to a certain extent, it's not a bad idea to necessarily value self-sufficiency. It increases your ability to do your own stuff. But I think he takes it a little extreme in thinking that, and just how much he disparages, did I use that word right? I don't know. Yeah, I've babbled about this anime enough. I'm looking forward to rewatching more of it. So, I'm not sure what else to talk about. I can't think of stuff that's come up. I know that some of y'all pointed out that Attack on Titan Manga 17 is coming with an anime DVD on Attack on Titan OVA on DVD, which means I'm definitely going to buy it because I do collect the DVDs. The problem is, if I have only the 17th volume, am I satisfied with that? Would I have to buy more of it? And if I buy 1 through 16, does that mean I need to buy 18 on as they get released? I don't know. That's a tough question. I'm at least going to buy 17, no questions asked. When that gets closer, I guess we'll see if I actually buy the other Attack on Titan manga. It kind of feels like it'd be worth it. Although at the same time, I do know second season is on its way towards coming out. I think there was that one clip. But yeah, I guess outside of anime, obviously I've been playing more StarMade. I can't think of anything that would necessarily interest y'all in general. Watched The Martian. That's it was a good movie. It's hard to say if it's like super spectacular to me. I'm not sure how I felt in that regard, but I did think going into it that it'd be pretty hard for them to fuck it up. I mean, like, it was just a good concept with good source material. People love the book. You'd have to be an idiot to mess it up. And as it is, you know, it's definitely not the perfect movie. I mean, what movie really is? It's a little fast, but I don't think it's necessarily fast in a bad way. It's just there's so much content to cover, and there's little things here and there that I've heard that they've changed and cut out to make it fit better as a movie. And some of those things sound like they actually make a lot of sense. But, well, yeah. And it's interesting to hear coworkers talk about it. Some of them thought that they liked Gravity out of the Gravity Interstellar Martian trio. The three recent spacey movies. Well, I guess I haven't seen Interstellar yet, so I can't comment too much. And I thought Gravity was entertaining. It was an interesting perspective. So I'm not. It's hard for me to really measure The Martian compared to that. I don't know. Part of the reason they may have been saying that, though, is they read the books. The book's obviously going to be better than the movie. Sometimes the movie's better than the books, but this wasn't one of those exceptions. And so for them, maybe Gravity was just a refreshing experience compared to this. And then Interstellar, I can't comment on yet because I haven't watched it yet. But I think that pretty much covers everything I would talk about. Yeah, alright. Y'all have a nice week.